Good morning. I thought we would spend the weekend together because I have a lot of fun, exciting new projects that I have casted on or I'm going to cast on, which I obviously wanted to share with you. The first one that I have cast on literally yesterday is the Eve dress by LePaul. And if you watched my winter plans video, then you'll know that I'm planning to make that backlist. So this is one of the backlist panels that I started. The yarn is a little bit annoying to work with, I can't lie, but yeah, it works up quickly enough. So this is where I'm at right now. Filming that video also made me think about my plans more realistically, especially for the next month, like leading up to Christmas. And I originally was working on my bow tee that I was talking about, and I realized I actually have other things that I should be getting on with, and so I put that one on hold until probably January, February next year, because I realized that actually it would be quite useful to have this dress ready at least in time for New Year's, because I do have some plans. So that is my goal, have this done a few days before New Year so I always have time for it to block and to dry. I have a bunch of other things that I want to do, but I'm mainly going to just work on the Eve dress for now over the next few days. Some of you mentioned in the comments that you'd like me to show it in a video, and I didn't even think about it, but of course I will show you how I get on. I also have a few plans this weekend, so I'm kind of working around that. And on Monday, so 1st of December, and I'm going to get my Christmas tree and I'm going to start decorating, and I'm really excited for that. So yeah, I thought I would take you along. I'm going to just spend this Saturday morning chilling here, knitting, really. You might have seen I've turned the chair around, which looks kind of silly in the room, but the radiator's just in front of me and it was kind of blocked by the sofa rest. So I think in the winter I'm gonna keep it rotated this way most of the time because I do just get so cold, and also Betty likes to sleep on this chair and it's just warmer for her this way. It's gonna be a little bit tricky to show you how I figured out the backlessness for the Eve dress without like giving away the pattern. I obviously want to respect the designer's copyright and stuff like that. Like I don't want to share anything that would give away the pattern. But what I basically did was hold on, if I zoom out, it shouldn't be too obvious. I wrote out the pattern to insert into Stitch Fiddle. So this is basically the layout of the back panel, and it helped me figure out where the stitches are and stuff like that, so I could then figure out when to do the decreases for the back and also how low to go. So that's kind of what I'm working on. The red stuff up here is what I've just knit on one side. I need to repeat it on the other side. But I'm just now getting to the point where I need to increase for the armholes whilst also decreasing for the back hole. So that's going to be a little bit more complicated, not massively. And then once I've done the back panel, I can just follow the pattern as is for the front panel. I'm hopeful that this is going to work out. So far the decrease is looking quite good. So this right here at the top is where I'm going to put a button, and as you can see it's starting to flare out where the back hole is going to go. For some reason I'm working with the longest cables ever, but we're just going to go with it. Like I said, I'm just going to continue, do some increases around the armholes, and I'll check in with you when I've finished the first section. I have finished the first top bit. I just realised I think it's the wrong way around. Wait, so it needs to be like this way around. So this is where the top will be, where the button will be, and then it flares out here. And then this is just where I've started doing the armhole. No, wait, it was the right way. Hold on. Let's try this again. I was holding it the wrong way around. Okay, this is the top. So this is where the buttons will be, where my fingers are here. And then I increase for the armholes there. I'm now slowly increasing again for the back for it to all come together at the end. But I'm casting on the front, and then once the front is matched in terms of length to here, then I join somewhat in the round, not quite yet because these two back panels haven't joined yet. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. This is quite fun. I am enjoying it. You do get used to the yarn. It's a little bit annoying to start with. I did the English cast on for the first time, and I really liked that one. That was quite nice and easy to do. So I'll definitely want to use that one again in the future. But yeah, I'm going to cast on the front, get to this length, probably knit a little bit until I join the back, and then I can actually show you like the full front yoke. I did originally plan to knit the back yoke first to get a better idea of where I want to put the back hole, and then I was going to unravel it all again and do the back properly. However, this yarn is a pain to frog. I would not recommend frogging anything, so I am actually being a lot more careful than I would usually be with my sort of like free-handed ideas, because I don't want to make any mistakes. Like, this is just a nightmare to pull these things through the hole. But yeah, very fun. I'm enjoying it so far. I need to stop here because I'm going to a comedy show with my friends tonight, and I really need to get ready for that. This is where I'm at. It actually looks like nothing. But this is the front so far. I haven't quite reached the length of the back just yet. I don't know if I can try it on. I don't really feel secure enough to try it on just yet. I want to connect them in the round at least, and then I can try it on for you guys. But yeah, I need to get ready, redo my makeup, and head off. It's my friend Lucy who hosts the Degenerates queer comedy night, who are really, really good. If you ever need anything to do in Norwich, I highly recommend those. And she's doing her biggest show ever. So that's where I'm heading tonight. Good morning, happy Sunday, and it is actually a beautiful Sunday as well. It's proper like cold out, but also sunny, like a really nice crispy Sunday morning, you know. I spent a couple hours this morning knitting on my dress because I'm really keen to connect the dress at the back so I can then go in the round. I'm now at a point where if I was following the pattern exactly, then I would now be knitting in the round. However, I obviously still have the back openings. So how it is looking at the moment is this is the front, and the shimmer of it is so nice. I love it. And then this is the back, if you can somewhat see. So this is where the button will be. I guess it would make sense if I was to attach a button now so I could keep the back closed, but this is where the back opening is at the moment. I'm kind of halfway through with the back sort of keyhole, so I'm now starting to increase at the bottom. I think it's going to take me a while until I get to connect it, and I'm trying to figure out whether it makes a difference if I knit or purl in terms of the shimmer. Because at the moment I don't think there really is a difference. In fact, I actually think there's more shimmer on the inside, like the knit side, and once you connect in the round you purl the rest of the dress, and I think there might be an opportunity for me to join so that I can knit the rest of the dress, which would make things just a lot more enjoyable and a lot quicker as well for me. I also want to cast on my Christmas jumper, ideally in this video as well, so I can show you guys. I was originally gonna film all of that in a separate video and show it in a like dedicated Christmas jumper video, but I think in terms of time management, I'll need to work on a few projects sort of at the same time. And I find as soon as I have the yoke done of a project and I'm just kind of like knitting the body, then I can proper switch off. So I'm trying to get the hardest, most concentration bits of my current projects out of the way. So then like the next few weeks, I can just like sit back and go round and round and round. I'm heading to the sauna in like an hour with my friend, which I'm very excited for. This is the perfect sauna day, like a cold day, but it's sunny, and then I can knit the rest of the afternoon. Happy Sunday roast, everyone. Look how far I've been getting with my dress. I finally connected it at the back here so you can see where the keyhole's coming together. I did try it on just now, but I didn't show it on camera because it's still got quite a lot of under boob going on. So I'll put a picture here. It's looking really good. The keyhole comes down like just low enough, but it's not too low. And yeah, it just looks really nice. It actually fits really well. Definitely was kind of trusting the process here and kind of winging, well, not winging, but changing like a few things here and there. And like one thing this project has definitely taught me is that surprisingly, it actually helps to like prepare a little bit more and like read through the pattern before you start. And if you have plans to adapt self-draft freehand things, quite good to make a little bit of a plan, like how I did with this one, because there was no frogging involved, simply because I physically couldn't really frog this. So it's definitely, I don't know, it taught me something in that way. I was gonna stay up and pull a bit of an all-nighter to try and add a bit more length to this. However, I am starting to feel a little bit ill. My throat's getting a little bit tingly and I'm quite bunged up, so I think I need to go to sleep. That does mean that I'm going to put this on hold because I want to cast on my Christmas jumper tomorrow, and then I'll pick this back up on Tuesday because I'm gonna go see Wolf Alice. So I'm gonna be on the train to London for that, and I think this could be quite a good train project because I'm just going round and round and round. And my favourite way to knit is actually when I'm chatting to my friends, because I can just like lock in on the conversation and I knit or crochet so fast. So I'm hoping that when I'm on the train with my friend, I'll get like a lot of knitting done as we're chatting. My nose keeps running, so I'm gonna call it a night, I think. Rise and shine. It's actually already like 11 or half 11. I felt quite rough this morning. Didn't have the best night's sleep, so I just took it easy this morning and did a little bit more knitting, and I'm finally at a point where I can show you where I'm at without flashing my tits. The front, it's looking really good. It's a nice sort of A-line shape. And then this is what the back looks like. Like I said, the cutout is pretty much perfect. It is obviously a lot wider because it's like an A-line shape, so the back is quite loose. I kind of thought that would happen and that's what that would look like, and I am fine with it. I think it looks nice. I'm glad I didn't lower this anymore because then you could kind of like see my pants. But I think once it all comes together, it will look really nice. I haven't got a single clue what kind of bra I'm going to wear with this because you can kind of like see everything. If I was to wear a bra, and I'm really bad with boob tape, I get really bad rashes. I also get rashes when they tape up my new tattoos and stuff. Just can't do sticky stuff on my skin, so I need to, I don't know, figure something out. I did originally go in the round with knit stitches, but then I felt like the sequins were more on the inside, so I thought maybe I need to purl and the sequins are on the outside a lot more, but the sequins are still mainly on the inside. I'll turn it around and I'll show you when I take it off. There are just so many more sequins on the inside. I guess you can also still wear it inside out. Like you can still wear it with the knit side out. It doesn't really matter. So this is it with the knit side out. And I do think it's so much sparkly actually. Like this is the knit side, and then this is the purl side. So maybe I will just have to wear it knit side out, which in this pattern is the wrong side, because that is so much more shiny. I'm basically just going round and round and round and round at this point. I don't really need to concentrate. So I think I'm going to pop it on hold, like I said yesterday, and I'm going to at least cast on the neckline for my Christmas jumper. And like the Christmas jumper is probably what I'm going to work on when I'm at home. And then the dress is something that I can take out and about with me, because like I said, I don't need to concentrate on it. So I'll put this on hold, and then I'll chat a little bit to you about the Christmas jumper, because that's going to be a lot more trial and error, because I'm following like a free-handed pattern basically. I'm doing an English cast on for this jumper as well, because I loved it so much on the Eve dress, and it's quite stretchy as well, so I think that will work really well for this this like turtleneck neckline. So what I've done for this jumper is I obviously came up with my own colourwork design. However, I then didn't also want to risk completely freehanding a new jumper pattern, because there's just like so much that I need to think about. Hold on, she wants to go look out the window. So because I had to place my colourwork into like my pixel design and stitch fiddle, I had to know exactly how many rows I wanted to do, how many stitches I wanted to do, in order to like figure out how often the stitch pattern repeats and stuff like that, the colourwork. So I needed to have a pattern basically ready. And so what I did was I took a pattern from Drops Design. They have a bunch of amazing like free patterns on their website, and I tried to find a silhouette as close as to the type of silhouette that I was looking for. And then with my tension swatch, I then did like a bit of math to basically figure out which size to follow with my gauge swatch. So I think I'm following like the larger size, going to fit my like medium/large size body. And there's an amazing video that I found on TikTok, I'm going to link it down below, of someone explaining this kind of math really, really well. And he basically shows how you can knit any pattern without having to adapt your gauge. So I've had this a lot of the time actually, where a gauge swatch didn't really match up with the one in the pattern. However, I didn't want to like increase my needle size because it would make it too loose. I didn't want to use a smaller needle size because it would make it too tight. And you kind of just want to work with a tension swatch that you're happy with. And his math's really clever, really good to follow. I think I'm going to basically be using that process for a lot of things that I'm kind of planning to like modify in the future. I basically adapted the Drops pattern to include all of the stitches, all the row amounts that I need to do for my size. I also modified it slightly in terms of length, because I obviously couldn't find a pattern that was exactly to the measurements that I wanted. So I wanted mine to be a little bit longer than in the pattern, and the sleeves I think were too long in the pattern, so I made them a bit shorter. But that's essentially what I'm doing right now. Whether that's going to work out, I have no idea. I guess in an ideal world I would have been able to test this by just knitting a plain jumper and then inserting the colourwork in a second jumper. I don't have time for that, so we're gonna just have to wing it and see and hope and pray that this is going to work out.
The rec room and offices were empty. The library, which held mostly religious tracts and encyclopedias. The dining hall with its long steel tables strewn with dirty plastic.
I finished the collar for my jumper. So boring. So incredibly boring. I almost fell asleep doing this. It's just going round and round and round. So boring. You're gonna fold it over. I say you. I am going to fold it over once it's all finished, so it will be a little bit shorter. But I actually quite like this sort of like really high turtleneck, so I have like two options to wear it. I also didn't do the English cast on in the end because that wasn't as stretchy with this yarn. I think there's just like my tension is a lot looser with the Eve dress, whereas my tension is really tight with this one, because like I said before, I want like a really dense kind of fabric. So I did a tubular cast on. I don't think that's what that's called. I'll put the real name here if I got it wrong. You can see how stretchy it now is at the top, so when I do fold it over and when I put it over my head, it'll be a lot nicer to wear. Like I said, I almost fell asleep like a few times. I had to turn my audiobook off and watch some YouTube instead, because audiobooks sometimes, if I am quite tired already, will literally send me to sleep. But I've just started like shivering even though the radiator's on, so I pray for me guys. I don't think I'm doing too well, and I need to be fit for Wolf Alice tomorrow. Our train's at 2 p.m, so I'm not like super worried. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have some food, and I'm going to put the heated blanket on in my bed, and I'm going to have a nap. And then in the evening when I wake up after my nap, I'm going to go out for a walk and get some fresh air to wake myself up. And then we're going to start the raglan top of the Christmas jumper. I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. I was hoping I still had a pack of this. I brought a bunch of them home one time, like these kinds of like brothy soups. I got the Sternchensuppe and I had some Buchstabensuppe, and like all the different soups you can think of, all the different like noodles. This is hopefully going to send me straight to sleep. I'm gonna make the whole pot and then I can have some later tonight as well. This is just like all I crave right now. Hello, I'm slowly coming alive again. The nap that I planned for ended up lasting 5 hours, and then I just continued sleeping all night in like a deep sweat. So then yesterday was sort of a complete write-off. Towards the end of the day, I kind of felt like I was coming alive again. I knit a little bit more on my Eve dress, so I'm really coming along with that one as well. I can show you actually. This is where I'm at in terms of the length. It's probably easier to see actually if I show you. I keep dropping stitches because my cable is clearly not long enough for such a wide project, but you can see where the back panel is. Obviously this is upside down, but this is where I'm at in terms of the length. This was just really nice to focus on yesterday because I didn't have to like concentrate. I just had to go round and round. I also did a little bit of work in the evening last night, which gave me kind of some hope that I would be a lot better today. Still not feeling 100%, so I did a little bit more on my Eve dress this morning, and I am quite keen now to just work on my Christmas jumper a little bit, because that actually is much more of a priority than my Eve dress, because I would like to wear that Christmas jumper not just on Christmas but like maybe a few days leading up to it. That would be really great. I did get some questions on my Instagram about how I did the modifications to make this backlist, and I'm really struggling to think of ways that I can share my modifications without spoiling the pattern. If anyone has any recommendations on how I could do that in like a safe way that doesn't give away everything about the pattern, if anyone's ever done something similar before, maybe I can like leave a note on Ravelry. I don't know if that works, but if anyone has any ideas, please let me know in the comments below. I realized I didn't actually show you the yarn that I'm using for my Christmas jumper. As a reminder, this is how the turtleneck came out, because I did share it in my winter plans video, but I realized maybe not everyone has watched that. So I'm using the new Copenhagen fibers range from Hobby. So I'm holding 2 strands double. One is the brushed alpaca and one is the merino light. I didn't really get to match up the colors too well, but as you can see, it actually turns out really nice and like warm when they're together. So this is sort of my main color. Then I'm using more sort of a beige for my secondary color, and then I've picked 2 detail colors as well. So I have my red and a nice sort of taupey blue as well. I'm working on 4mm needles for this one, which was a little bit tricky for this ribbing actually, because I then had to downsize for the ribbing. The smallest needle that I have is a 3.5, and that was quite tough. Like, I think in terms of tension and feel, this is gorgeous. It is a lot of yarn that I had to shift on such small needles. I did try some larger needles, so this one was like a 5mm, I think, and this was too loose, like this is too gappy for me. And then this one was a 4.5, and even that I wasn't happy with. So the 4mm was perfect, but it is so much smaller than is recommended. The brushed alpaca is recommended 6mm, the merino light is recommended 3.5mm, so I should have really gone higher than 6mm, but yeah, somehow I ended up really small. I was going to show you a bit more knitting today, but I am just not feeling 100%, so I don't think I'm going to be creating the most amazing content for you today. So I think I am going to end the video here. I didn't get to do any of my Christmas decorations. I didn't get my Christmas tree or do any of the things that I planned for this week. So I'm hoping if I take it easy today, then tomorrow I can get my Christmas tree and like a few other bits of decorations that I want, because we're having a bunch of friends over on Saturday
for sort of like a Friendsmas, and I want to have my Christmas tree then. So yeah, unfortunately I didn't get to share any of that in this video, but I did make really good progress on this dress. Like, this is quite impressive, I would say, in like a few days work. So I'm gonna take a few days off filming, I think, just to sort myself out, and then I might do like a 24-hour challenge next week. I'm not quite sure yet, just sort of depends on what I can get done. I am currently also working on releasing my knit scooty pattern, so it's going to come out on Friday the 5th of December around 3 p.m. I realise this is quite a highly anticipated pattern, which I feel very happy about. I'm really glad that is resonating with people and that people are excited to knit it. So that's going to come out on Friday. I'm kind of just tying up some loose ends, adding Tessa's pictures into the pattern. I also need to still take some pictures, but I need to sort my face out and my hair out, so I'm hoping maybe I can do it tomorrow or Friday morning at a push. But yeah, in the meantime, I'll continue working on this. I'll hopefully make some progress on the Christmas jumpers so that next time I film I can show you like an update and we can hone in on that jumper a little bit more, and I can show you how the colour work and stuff like that is coming along. Thank you as always so much for watching and for bearing with me in my sick state. I'm absolutely fine. It's just like a common cold that has taken over. My friend who I went to the sauna with is also feeling really unwell, so I'm convinced that something dodgy was going around in the sauna. But equally, we also went to see CMAT together, and her son is also really unwell, so it could have come from anywhere. I just feel like it's that time of the year. So if you are out there watching this while you are ill, crossing my fingers for you that you'll get over it very quickly, and at least we're getting it out of the way before Christmas. That's my thinking. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you next time, guys, and until then, see you soon.